Meanwhile, the global trade landscape is back in flux after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down the sweeping tariffs imposed by Donald Trump. Within hours, the administration announced temporary across-the-board tariffs of 10%, later raised to 15% using Section 122 authority. Let's just break this down for you bit by bit. Economists and trade experts are saying at this point that Section 122 may not apply in the current economic environment. The law basically requires a large and serious balance of payments deficit. While the U.S. has run a trade deficit for decades, analysts pointing out that this is offset by capital inflows into American financial markets, meaning there is no overall balance of payments deficit. Meanwhile, Neil Katyal, the Indian-American lawyer who fought the tariff battle against Trump, remember, reiterating his criticism on the new tariff plan. And experts also argue that Section 122 was designed for a fixed exchange rate era when the dollar was pegged to gold and reserve shortages posed real risks. And with the U.S. operating under a flexible exchange rate system for over 50 years, several economists are saying the legal justification for invoking Section 122 is weak. And the move effectively resets U.S. tariff policy while creating fresh uncertainty for trading partners. The European Commission has demanded full clarity from Washington, warning that unpredictable tariff changes undermine the EU-US trade deal, and the terms set a 15% ceiling for most goods and allowed zero tariffs on select sectors like aircraft. Global partners reacted cautiously as policy volatility returned to the forefront. China has said it is assessing the ruling and urged the U.S. to remove unilateral tariff measures. In fact, European officials also warned that sudden tariff shifts risk disrupting the supply chains, business planning and cross-border investment as well. India also reassessing its options in the face of the new U.S. tariffs. The European Central Bank president, meanwhile, flagged the risk of renewed business disruption, stressing that companies need predictable trade rules. Switzerland, meanwhile, signaled U.S. tariffs could become a long-term feature, while governments started reviewing existing trade agreements for potential exposure. Political leaders, including the French president, acknowledged the role of the U.S. institutional checks, but also warned against escalating trade tensions. And Trump's new tariff strategy faces multiple pitfalls. The legal scrutiny over the use of Section 122, the implementation complexity, also the risk of refund claims on previously paid duties. Some estimates, in fact, suggesting companies may have overpaid more than $100 billion in tariffs, raising the prospect of lengthy reimbursement battles. For markets and businesses, the key issue here is clarity. In just one word, whether the new tariffs become permanent policy or trigger another round of legal and trade disputes.